The opinions voiced in this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult your attorney, accountant, and financial advisor or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Welcome. You're listening to the Best of Investing on News Talk 910. You know our show. It's where we present valuable information about real estate, the financial markets, and other economic business of the day. For those of you listening for the first time, here's our format. A few guys sitting around a bar talking business with you, the audience, listening in. I'm your host, Edward Brown, and I'm pleased to have as my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, California's fastest growing private lender, and Robert Schiff of RPM Mortgage. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Or write that number down, 888-912-1190, because you're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during each commercial break. You got it. We're giving away 9 vacations during this show. The vacations are sponsored by Lighthouse Resort and Marina, which is located 1 hour northeast of San Francisco. The vacations are free. Their only request is a $75 cleaning fee to cover housekeeping expenses. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. You can reach them at 916-777-5511. And today's trivia theme is shows on cable TV. Thought that was kind of interesting.
Oh, I'll do good on that one.
You will do well. I know you will. Okay, our website is bestofinvesting.com. Don't forget to email us questions at edward@bestofinvesting.com and listen for your questions on the air. We're also on television, Comcast 26 on Saturdays at noon. Now, today's special guest is Mark McAlonan. I got that right. All right.
Easy for you to say.
He's a business owner who's going to share some stories with us about how to deal with employees and problems that come up with owning a business. Mark, welcome to the Best of Investing.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So you and I were talking one time about the fact that you're a business owner, you have a number of employees, and sometimes you run into conflict resolution issues.
Yep.
Give us an example.
Well, there's not a whole lot of examples, hopefully, on a day-to-day thing. But,
right.
Guys with 34 employees, and it's a physical environment down at my tire business, they get in minor conflicts. So, arguments are one end of it, and it's gone physical before. So,
well, that's not good.
That's never a good thing. That's somebody's going to be in trouble somewhere, whether it's me with a lawsuit or somebody's employment terminated.
Well,
So-
it was just me and my secretary one time. We got a little physical. She beat the crap out of me. No, I'm just kidding.
Secretaries will do that.
Yeah.
So how have labor laws, the changes in labor laws over the last 10 years, Mark, how have they affected the way you run your business, and what kind of changes have you had to kind of make, given that you have some of the employees?
Yeah, they have changed, and really what's changed is the compliances. So you need to tell your employees through posting bulletins on the walls and posters of all their rights, and that's a good thing. It tells them where to go if they get hurt. It tells them who to call if anything isn't right with your business. So what you're doing is you're giving them information that will help them sue you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Thank you very much. May I have another?
You probably had to remodel the shop to add extra wall space for all the posters.
Right. Move a couple gumball machines out of the way, and but it has to literally be posted in their lunch area if they're lucky enough to have one, and they do. So they sit down, and you get 15 guys staring at a poster of all the things that could be wrong, whether it's toxins, which we're clean on that, or just employee abuse, or not getting their 10-minute breaks. And there's attorneys' phone numbers, doctors' phone numbers, Latino attorneys' phone numbers. So, and then these guys also are soliciting your employees, especially if you have some Latino guys. And as great at workers as everybody is for me, they are being educated on how to go after their employer if there's any sort of a problem, from a need to a fist fight to an argument to unfair treatment. Everything's got to be perfectly equal.
Wow.
Now, have your like employee handbooks, have they grown in size? I saw one not too long ago that was almost like a phone book, and I'm thinking, who reads those things?
No, it's grown from a 2-page old school thing back in the 60s, which really was a nothing to it, to just like you said, a phone book of rules and regulations. And I don't know if anybody's ever really read that thing all the way through.
But the thing is that you have to have one, right? I mean, isn't that the whole idea? Not that you have to. I mean, you're not legally required. But
hold on. An attorney once told me about these handbooks. He says all you're doing if you have a handbook is you're giving a bat for them to beat you with.
Well, that was my point of having the thing on the wall. But yeah, exactly that. And then you have to have meetings, of course, your safety meetings and things of that nature, and to re-educate them and remind them of go to this handbook, go to the wall charts for anything that might be ailing you or upsetting you.
Well, do you have government regulators that come in to make sure all those posters are posted?
Yeah,
like the coffee stains, or
they do. No, yeah, well, you don't see the fancy chandeliers at my place, but you will see the coffee stains. But that keeps tire prices down. So forgive my sloppy shop.
No. I was thinking coffee stains might obliterate the number of the attorney to call. Or,
I get you. Yeah, no, we have employee meetings, and again, it's to remind them, and we have a regulator that comes by through workman's comps, which is is the catalyst of the whole thing. If you're going to take action against your employer, it's usually through workman's comp, and they come and check me out. They look at my meeting schedules. They look at all my things that are up, as well as just all the safety things, safety
OSHA.
classes,
OSHA stuff. Yeah. So give us an example, because the audience is listening on the edge of their seat, waiting to hear.
I'm sure they are.
Some of these
exciting radio.
Well, some of these situations where you've had employees where you've had to actually kind of be, I guess, a mediator. Where
especially your line of work has some hefty tools that.
And some hefty guys that go with those tools. Yeah. I loved it back in. I've been doing it a long time, but back in the early 70s, it was great. Two guys have a problem. You go, hey, you guys, if you can be back in 20 minutes, take it around the back of the building. And then one guy would come back with a patch of his hair missing and a black eye. And then so we had a new boss. Whoever won that match was the ruler of that territory.
And they got along fine.
They got They were best friends, and it was a handshake and no more fights.
Playgrounds when we were kids. Yeah.
And it's funny, but there's one situation, and we handle everything internally, but we actually had one guy call the police as he got in a beef with one of his friends and his cousin. So this 6-foot-tall, good-looking Santa Fe police officer showed up, and she got the guys in there, and she said, "What kind of a sissy are you? Why don't you call your mommy next time you get in a fight with your cousin?"
That's great.
She goes, "I got people laying on the street with stab wounds in here, and you're calling me over here because he said what to you?" And he said, "Well, how did it go?" And he said, "Well, I told him to blankety blank." And she said, "Okay, you're under arrest. You broke the law. You cannot instigate a fight with profanity and call names. So there is a law for that." So he said, "Right now, you're the only guy that did anything wrong. Where's the other guy?" "Well, he left." "So, okay, so you're the only guy that's in trouble. You called the police. You broke the law. You said, whatever they said. I don't want to say it on radio, but and she chewed him out so bad and humiliated him in front of the other 30 guys that she basically said, "Go call your mommy next time you have a
That's great.
That is great. I love
fabulous.
that.
Yeah, then it comes back to me and how I handle it. So I've got to take these guys generally one at a time, get their stories. And I'm still old school, so I want to give them both the benefit of the doubt and give them an opportunity to keep working, because technically everybody has the right to have a safe working environment.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. So if you can tell them how you're going to make it safer for them, and you can discourage any further arguments, things like that. That's what I do, and I always try to keep the peace. Both guys are still working for me, and
good.
And they're both still cousins.
Are they still cousins?
By blood.
Yeah. One way or another.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to cut to our first commercial break here, and again, the trivia theme is cable shows on cable TV. All right, you ready for this? On the TV show Shark Tank, what kinds of sharks are pictured on the show to highlight the show? All right. The first 3 callers with the correct answer are going to win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. On the TV show Shark Tank, what kinds of sharks are pictured on the show to highlight the show? 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name and your email address, and make sure when you give us your email address you spell it for us one letter at a time, and we'll be right back.
Want to have a beautiful lawn year-round that's maintenance-free, requires no watering, and is pet-friendly, and saves you money? Then Turf Evolutions is your answer. Turf Evolutions is the Bay Area's premier artificial turf company. At Turf Evolutions, we manufacture our own turf, so we have developed a high-quality turf that is suited for here in the Bay Area. Call Turf Evolutions at 1-877-902-TURF for a free estimate today. That's 1-877-902-TURF. Also visit us at www.turfevolutions.com.
Hi, I'm Mark McAlonan from Cain's Tire in San Rafael. Cain's is a family-owned business. We've been here since 1957. We're open Monday through Saturday, and you can find an owner here every day of the week. We have the largest tire selection, we've got the lowest prices, and we beat Costco. Buy your mustard from Costco, but come buy your tires from Cain's Tire. Edward from Best of Investing has been buying tires from us for almost 40 years. No wonder we've been voted best in the Marin for 25 years. For the best investing listeners, we're offering a 50% off of wheel alignments and balancings. And don't forget our already lowest prices in Marin. Please come and see us at Cain's Tire at 1531 4th Street in San Rafael, or give us a call at 415-453-2942.
Hey, it's Edward Brown. I don't know if you know this, but I have saved thousands of dollars on my term life insurance by knowing just one secret. If you call 888-912-1190, I will personally share this secret with you in less than 30 seconds. That promises to save you a lot of money, and it's so simple. Call our toll-free number, 888-912-1190. Leave your name and just say life insurance. I will personally call you back after the show and will share this secret with you. Of course there's no obligation. Don't be silly. It's that simple. 888-912-1190 and say life insurance. Again, 888-912-1190. Yes, it's the same number we use for the trivia contest, so don't be alarmed when you hear the greeting. 888-912-1190 and start saving on your life insurance today.
This is Mark Hanf, co-host of The Best of Investing. Are you tired of the low yields that banks are paying on your savings and CDs? At Pacific Private Money, our clients earn fixed annual rates starting at 8%. If you're looking for a secure way to boost the interest you earn using your savings or IRA, you owe it to yourself to visit our website at pacificprivatemoney.com or call us at 800-605-8050. That's pacificprivatemoney.com or call us at 800-605-8050. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money and Robert Schiff of RPM Mortgage. When we cut to the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question. And again, the theme is TV shows on cable TV. Ready? On the show Shark Tank, what kinds of sharks are pictured on the show to highlight the show? Robert, you know the answer.
I'm not real familiar with the show, but I'm pretty sure it's a loan shark.
It's a loan shark.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, you talking to me?
Yeah. Okay, we'll let our guest answer that. What's the answer?
I think it was hammerhead.
It is hammerhead shark.
Indeed.
Very good. Okay, we are in the studio with Mark McAlonan from Cain's Tires.
That's correct.
And we've been talking about dealing with employees. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, because Mark, you said that you actually take, if you have a situation between employees, you might take them separately. And I was just reading something on the internet, and they made a suggestion. They said don't meet with them separately because you might have each individual tell you the story, trying to polarize the situation and trying to see your side. But actually, I think you mentioned that you would meet with them separately and then meet together.
Yeah, you got your internet answers, and then you have your real life answers.
There you go.
When two guys are in a beef, the first thing you want to do, of course, is take them and separate them. Otherwise, you got two guys yelling their point of the story at the same time. So we separate them, talk to them, and we rarely have any incidences up at Cain's Tire. This is one I can think of in the last 10 years. But separate them, get their stories. Both guys, it's the other guy's fault 100% of the time. You know that going in. How do they want to resolve it? They always want the other guy fired. Maybe that's easy for me. Maybe that's impossible for me. And then you bring them back together and say, this is how we have to make this work. This is a team. And I run it like a football team. Okay. This is a team. So this guy has got your back. If you wouldn't be doing what you're doing unless he's blocking for you, so to speak. So get the guys back together, make them realize it's a team group, make them realize they're both going to go. And again, it's how everybody else is looking at you and how they perceive how you've handled the situation. If you do nothing, it's the worst thing you can do.
Exactly.
So.
Well, that part the internet did agree with you on.
Okay, great.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
They also had said that don't believe for a moment that the only people who are affected by the conflict are the participants. So that's a good point. I mean, if the other employees see how you handled it, they're going to have a lot of respect for you. And
exactly. Or they're not going to follow the same suit. They get in a beef with a guy. They know if they've pushed him or whatever the situation is, that's a no-no, and here's how it happens. So basically how you handle those things, you always handle it with a warning, a written notice to each guy, and then usually what you should do is suspend them. So a suspension gets a message across to them, and the warning notice makes it legal that you've warned them, and 3 warning notices, and time's up.
Has that changed lately? Is it harder to fire someone today than it was 5 or 10 years ago?
Oh yeah, I mean you fire a guy, you get a guy that steals from you, and you fire him. He is entitled to things. Unemployment's one of them. You lay a guy off, and he has a hard time fighting for unemployment, or if they quit because of any reason, they have to go home to be at home with their children. In a secretary point of view, they have a harder time getting unemployment than the guy you fire. But there always is a fallback if you fire a guy, and we haven't had any of that going on. Our employees have stayed with us forever. I've got guys that are 52 years, but
oh my gosh,
yeah,
wow.
And right on down the line.
That's how old I am.
Exactly.
This guy's 120.
Yeah. No, but literally, and then you have. You have my new guys that have stayed. I really can't think of anybody that I've had to fire.
Now, let me ask you: is a lot of that have to do with pre-screening when you hire them, or I mean, I know you've got a great organization. That's why I wanted to have you on the show. But not everybody has employees who have been with them for a really long time. So, what do you attribute that to? How do you keep employees for a long time?
Give them more money. No, I'm
no. I know money is only a small motivating factor.
No, everybody has to feel part of the team and valuable. I think is a key thing. So I truly depend on those guys from the bottom up, and the guys in the back shop are the guys that are really making us or breaking us. Our prices are low. That message is out there. The service and turning cars around and keeping those guys going, and therefore being grateful to them and letting them know that, whether it's at Christmas time with bonuses or verbals all the time. And you got to let those guys know on the front line that are blocking for the prima donnas,
right?
That they're the nucleus of the whole thing. They're the backbone of the team.
The thing that I've noticed the biggest change for me, because I run more of an office staff, Mark, you've got you've got a big tire shop with a lot of employees, but in the office environment, the biggest change that I've seen, at least for me, is we've gone from having everybody on salary to pretty much everybody on hourly. Because it used to be you would just come up with as low a monthly salary as possible for your admin, and then you'd have them work
100 hours.
Yeah, you're right, 180 hours a week or whatever, and I've just found that you really can't get away with that anymore, and if you're still doing that, you're really at risk, I think, of overtime violations. So we pretty much put everybody on an hourly basis, and if they work overtime, they get paid, and they get paid for, for paid holidays. But if they don't want to work, if they want to leave early, I don't have to grind my teeth about it. They go and they're not getting paid for it. 2-hour lunch, great, you're not getting paid for it. I don't care.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we do. I do have a large portion of them hourly, but it's a management thing of the overtime. You got to stay on top of it, and 10-minute breaks here. And
now you guys would have, I assume you'd have a time clock.
Oh yeah,
in an office you wouldn't have a
time
right.
In office you don't. Right.
They punch in and out for coming and going, and of course for lunch, and not for 10-minute breaks. But that keeps it careful, and I can track it. If a guy goes over, then you pay him. Yeah. You cringe and you give him the time and a half, and everything's good.
I'll tell you what, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Mark's company, Kane's Tires, but one of the other reasons I wanted to have him on is that, I've literally been going to his tire shop for almost 40 years.
Wow.
And
thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Why? It's because not only do they have the lowest prices, but the service is really good, and it's amazing how honest they are. They don't just sell you a tire if you can fix, let's say, the flat. And sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
And I've been just very appreciative of how honest they are. And it's one of those things where I can. It's funny. Their commercials say, oh, come bring your wife and your daughter, whatever. And I've literally done that. I've just said to my wife, just go ahead and just go there because I trust them enough.
Well, thank you.
Now, what I want to know is you always you've got on your window, and you've had that up there for a while, and on your ads too. You say we beat Costco. How do you beat Costco?
Well, we shop them. So that came out some years ago, and I put up there a blanket message, we beat Costco. Their attorneys came back to us and said, you don't beat us. You don't sell toilet paper and sunglasses and watches and things like that. So he said, you need to put up a percentage of any percentage which will get you out of the legal situation, blanketing that statement saying, and I said, that's a fair deal. So in the very small corner, there's a percentage of that in there that's handwritten in, we beat Costco, and I can't remember if it's 80 or 90 or 100%. But
120% of the time.
We don't beat them on toilet paper and tuna. We beat them on tires. So 100% of the time.
Wow, that's great.
I mean, that's amazing. Think about that.
And I studied
that's amazing.
Costco's always the lowest on everything,
the
except
volume
for this.
Right, and a lot of people go there because they just assume that they're the lowest, and they're going to.
That's the thing. It's a warehouse mentality. You see that big warehouse up there, and you automatically assume that's the lowest thing. And especially with some of the ladies that are in the market, we have become a big part of my customer basis. I'd say it's up to 70% of the people who are walking that door to buy tires, whether the husband sent them in there or not, are women.
Yeah.
But they truly have that warehouse is cheaper always.
Sure.
And so my message on TV and another ad will be coming out. You want to buy your mustard? Go to Tahoe. Go to Costco. If you want to buy your tires, or Tahoe. Yeah. Or if you want to buy your tires, come to Kane's Tire. We just do nothing but tires.
Well, and that's the thing is that within the automotive, just generically, and I'm going to stereotype it, but in the automotive industry, there's always this fear that women get taken advantage of. Like buying a new car, you're going to get some salesmen to pull the wool over their eyes. And so in theory, it would carry over into the tire business, and maybe it does. But not at your place.
Well, more probably in the mechanic business, because mechanical business is a gray area under the car that nobody knows what's under there, and they don't know what a ball joint is or a tie rod in. But
my girlfriend, one time, she took her car in for a tune-up, and the guy said, "You better come look here. Your engine's missing." And she said, "It was here when I drove in." Yeah. That's a true story.
Yeah. No, it is. He wanted to sell her a new engine.
Those Volkswagens have the engine.
The timing was off. Her engine was missing. The timing was off.
I get it now.
She thought the engine wasn't there.
Oh.
Is that a blonde joke?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
She wasn't blonde.
So, Mark, we've been mentioning about Kane's Tires, and where are you located? Tell our listeners.
1531 4th Street in San Rafael, California. Been there since 1957. And we have a brake shop, a brake annex down on Lincoln in San Rafael. What's kind of an extension of our building. You bring them into 4th Street, and we take the brake jobs down there. But all the tire work is done up on 4th Street.
At the corner of Shaver.
4th and Shaver, San Rafael.
And what's the phone number?
415-453-2942. I'd love to have a call.
All right. And audience, be listening for Mark's commercial, Kane's Tires, on the Best of Investing. I'm sure he's going to give some kind of promotion.
Yeah, I have to say right now, anybody that calls in and hears this, we would do 50% off of wheel alignments. Using a wheel alignment is $68. I'd knock you down to $34 and half off a wheel balance. And then our prices, I got to say again, are already lower than everybody else's, and including Costco.
Well, and it's funny because honestly, what I've done in the past is just for ducks, as they say, I will call competitors.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get a feel.
All my friends do.
Yeah. Exactly. And I'll tell you, when I say I always end up back at Kane's, I don't mean sometimes. I literally mean always. Yeah. Mark, thank you very much for joining us in the studio. If you want to hang out, we're going to talk some other kinds of business stuff.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. We're going to cut to our second commercial break, and again, the theme is shows on cable TV. Where does the TV show Pawn Stars take place? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. Where does the TV show Pawn Stars take place? Again, 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, email address, and remember to speak slowly and spell out your information for us one letter at a time. And we're going to be right back. Edward Brown here, host of the Best of Investing, to tell you what my Lighthouse Resort membership did for me. It allowed me to vacation in the same timeshares that most people pay $30,000 for, but I didn't have to buy a timeshare. Call 916-777-5511 and tell them to give you the same treatment they gave me. The same vacations that timeshare owners enjoy and pay thousands for, but at a fraction of the cost. For example, many people pay $20,000 or $30,000 for a timeshare and yearly dues of $1,000 or more. That's outrageous. Remember, I stayed at a deluxe resort that many people paid $35,000 and $800 a year, but my cost? Only $109 for the entire week. The Lighthouse Resort's membership is so cost-effective, it usually pays for itself the first time you use it. Are you curious now? Call the Lighthouse Resort at 916-777-5511 and tell them Edward sent you.
Attention Bay Area real estate investors. Pacific Private Money Loans can help you buy more income property. Whether to fix and flip or to build your portfolio of rental property, Pacific Private Money has a loan program for you. We are the fastest growing private lender in the Bay Area. We're friendly, fast, and ready to help you right now. Call us today for more information. 415-883-2150. That's 415-883-2150. Or visit us at pacificprivatemoney.com.
Hey listeners, it's Edward Brown. You've heard me mention about inexpensive life insurance over the past few weeks. The response has been terrific. We just signed a woman up for $1 million policy that is guaranteed for 20 years. Her cost? Less than $1 a day. Since I'm totally independent, I run the numbers through a computer and out pops the top 20 insurance quotes. For a free quote with no obligation, call 888-912-1190 and say life insurance, and I will personally call you back. Why pay more than you need to? That's 888-912-1190 for your free quote.
This is Mark Hanf, co-host of The Best of Investing. Are you tired of the low yields that banks are paying on your savings and CDs? At Pacific Private Money, our clients earn fixed annual rates starting at 8%. If you're looking for a secure way to boost the interest you earn using your savings or IRA, you owe it to yourself to visit our website at pacificprivatemoney.com or call us at 800-605-8050. That's pacificprivatemoney.com or call us at 800-605-8050. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money and Robert Schiff of RPM Mortgage.
Nicely said.
Thank you very much. Okay, when we cut to the second commercial break, we asked this trivia question. The television show Pawn Stars, where does that take place? Anybody?
Kentucky? I don't know.
Come on, you know where
we
that
could do a
takes
whole
place.
show on the cable station reality shows.
That's true. Well, I got one more after this. Come on, anybody.
L.A.?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Las
Oh.
Vegas. Las Wages, as they say.
Oh.
Okay, we received Mark, you were reading something in the newspaper that I thought was interesting.
Well, they just, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in the fourth segment, but the Bay Area August home sales just came out actually today, and highest home sales in the Bay Area since August of 2006. Which was near the height of the market. So it's pretty amazing. We'll get into a little bit more of that later. But what was interesting...
That's in monthly volume? Or?
In monthly volume, yeah. And so anyway, but I was reading about, in that article, it talked about the most active lenders for Bay Area home buyers. And the number 2 lender, the first was a bank, which will go unnamed, but the company that did the second, number 2 in Bay Area home loans was RPM Mortgage.
You must have been pretty busy there,
Which-
Robert.
Our own
which-
Robert Schiff here.
Which is a bank, but just a mortgage bank.
A mortgage bank,
that's
yeah.
nice to hear and not surprising to know the volume of the loans we do. And some of the larger banks, as you say, to go unnamed, are backing out of the industry in certain ways. They are fed up with the regulations, or they want to use their money other ways, or they're retrenching. And
Well, obviously, you guys have competitive rates, or else you wouldn't have been so busy.
Yes. And the longer we do, and the bigger industries that will buy mortgages or want to support them see the quality of the loans we have are very strong, and there's very little foreclosures or forfeits or late payments. So it gets better and better, and people are acknowledging it and realizing it, and that all helps. thank you for that
Awesome.
information.
Right. Tell you what, we'll go right into the email time because we received an email for you that says, what is the highest LTV, I assume that means loan to value, that I can get on a conventional loan?
Well, the answer, as Mark mentioned in any of these questions, is basically it depends.
That's no answer.
But,
Give us the real answer.
The highest loan to value you can get in these days, when everybody used to be able to get 100% financing, the answer to the highest you can get is 100%.
It used to be 115 or 120 in some cases.
That was those old cash-out purchases.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you are a veteran, you can get 100% financing. And
Will the VA program still do that?
On the VA program, they will still do it, and there's no mortgage insurance. There's an upfront fee.
What's the 3%?
The 3.5% is for FHA loans, Federal Housing Authority, and you can get a loan with 3.5% down, and also you can have the seller pay a significant, if not percentage, if not all of the closing costs. So I've had people literally, with all the closing costs, and there are significant fees to an FHA loan, but they still can come in with as little as 3.5% down. And the way real estate prices have declined and rents have increased, even sometimes they will be paying monthly fees equal to or maybe even less than a comparable rent. Probably not so much in the general Bay Area, but if you go outside a little bit.
But they have to do full doc.
Yeah, everything
there's
everything that I deal with is full doc. They want to see your taxes. They want to see everything, and everything is questioned and dotted and crossed.
And what's the fastest you can do a loan?
We can RPM, because the loans stay inside the bank. If it's a purchase, we have a separate department that'll do a 20-day close.
That's pretty fast.
Other than that, most of the banks are taking well more than a month, say 45 days, to really process a loan and close it.
No wonder you guys are number 2 in the Bay Area. So are there any stated income loan products at all? Have any of them come back on the market?
As far as I know, when I get somebody who can only qualify that way, I turn to my favorite hard money person and come to you.
Are you kidding me?
No, I know when they call and
No.
say I want to get a loan, what's your income, and they tell me, and my response is,
Can you prove it?
Do you own a TV? Have you not heard there are changes in the mortgage industry in the last several years? No, you do need to qualify. And then you get people, of course, well, what does your taxes show? Well, it shows $100,000. Well, that's your gross. And what about your net? Well, I don't need to show you my net. I'm just going to use my gross. And then I think, well, perhaps there's a person I should have Mark call. So.
Yeah, really.
Well, and the private lending industry has responded. There are companies that have, like soft hard money is what we call it, that's kind of in between bank financing and the kind of hard money loans that we often do, which is to real estate flippers. But if you do have stated income, there are products that have been coming out of the woodwork for you, and they are in the single-digit rates, and some of them are pretty compelling. So if you've got a great opportunity to buy a house, there are some, anywhere from 699, 799, which still is not.
That's awfully good in this.
It's not.
And then
not
you can
great, but it's better than.
But if it's not being able to buy the house, it's,
that's exactly compared to what?
Because in a year they'll probably be able to be in a better situation and get out of that loan and refinance themselves. I forgot to mention, if you wanted to get a loan without having to pay mortgage insurance, then we could get situations where you had 2 mortgages and it would be up to 90% of the value.
Well, that's pretty good.
Wow, that's not bad.
So how do people get a hold of you, Robert?
It's Robert Schiff. My company is RPM Mortgage. The best way is to call my cell phone, 415-515-1941, or you can go onto the RPM website and look for Robert Schiff. And there's a lot of very good information on our website, too.
Oh, good. And, to be dealing with the second busiest lender around. There's got to be a reason for that. You must have the best rates.
We're not first yet.
Not for, the other one's a little bit too large, probably. Okay, we got an email here for Mark, kind of along the same lines. It must have been from the same email person. What is the highest loan to value you lend for hard money loans?
Okay, so my company's Pacific Private Money. So we do hard money, also known as private money loans, and so hard money and private money historically has always been a little bit more conservative in the loan to value. So whether it's a purchase money loan or cash out refi, up until recently, the max amount was about 65%, but I've been doing more 70%, and in some cases 75% purchase money loans, depending on the neighborhood and the strength of the borrower. So, hard money, unlike what some people think, has never really been 100% financing money. Now, if you're a real estate investor and you're looking to buy, fix, and flip, there is 100% or near to 100% financing available, and it's usually in the combination of like a first and a second. But the catch is the person who's providing the second for, let's say, up to 100% financing on a maybe a fix and flip purchase, they're going to want to split the profits with you in some form or fashion. And a lot of them want 50%. So they're going to be your equity partner, basically whether you like it or not, which in some cases, maybe you like it because either your money's all tied up in maybe another property that you have on the market and you want to keep your crew busy, or maybe you're getting started in real estate. You've taken a bunch of courses, you've got your team lined up, and you can't seem to get started because you don't have enough money to get in the game. Working with a first-second combination where the second is basically your partner,
and that's
is
not
a good
too
idea
bad either, because then you can actually sometimes the borrower in that case wants an equity partner in that.
Right, they
case.
want an equity partner anyway.
Yeah,
right,
because
so
they also
a lot of
that way
the
they don't
guys,
get
a
foreclosed,
lot of guys in the trades who were doing it before and now don't have the wherewithal to jump in by themselves. That would be a great opportunity.
Sure.
They
But also
create
you
a
have-
job and.
Well, what I was thinking of is that ordinarily, you have a second mortgage who just automatically would just foreclose if there's a problem. But in this case, if there's potential profits to be made, then I would think that the second might work with you.
Well, they're your
partner.
cheerleader, and number two,
Yeah.
they're even a project manager in many cases. So this is a recent development. This wasn't really around a year ago, but now that most people believe the real estate market has bottomed out and it's even starting to tick up, and now we've got in some neighborhoods it's no longer a buyer's market, but it is in a way a seller's market, because there's you put something on the market and you're more often than not you get multiple bids. So for someone who is looking to get into real estate investing and they don't have the equity, this new program, it's referred to in the business as a shared appreciation mortgage. It's a second mortgage generally behind maybe a hard money first, which is less expensive. It doesn't have a
just
profit
call it
share.
SAM.
Yeah, it's a SAM loan. That's exactly right. So there's a whole bunch of SAM lenders in the Bay Area right now, and I know many of them. So I used to get phone calls all the time from flippers or prospective flippers saying, "Hey, do you know any equity investors you could refer me to?" And of course, my answer would be no, because my investors, my lenders are my clients. I'm not going to turn them over to you. But now I've got a yes answer. I say, well, no, I don't have any equity partners I can refer you to, but I have lenders who are essentially the same, that will participate with you. So that's good news for flippers.
Okay, and how do people get a hold of you if they want that kind of great loan?
Yeah, PacificPrivateMoney.com, or call us on our phone. It's 415-883-2150.
Or
we could go to the Best of Investing
website.
ThebestofInvesting.com.
Okay, before we cut to our third and final commercial break, we had a special trivia contest that we were asking last week. We said we were going to ask it this week. And the winner is going to get an overnight stay at the Four Seasons Hotel in San Francisco. And here's their verbiage here. At the Four Seasons Hotel in San Francisco, you can take in lush gardens, sample vineyards, and see the latest in contemporary art, all without ever having to leave the hotel. The Four Seasons Hotel in San Francisco provides luxury accommodations where you can choose a massage, reflexology, aromatherapy, wraps, and other treatments designed to soothe and pamper. In the lounge, you can unwind at the bar in front of a toasty fireplace, sipping your favorite martini. Ah, the ambience. Call them at 415-633-3000 or check them out on the web at www.fourseasons.com/San Francisco. I think all of us will go there right now.
Yes.
Okay, and here is the special trivia contest. Question. Almost 10% of us will do this in 2012. What is it? And now here are the rules. Cannot be a previous winner on Best of Investing. You're going to email the answer along with your name, address, and phone number to edward@bestofinvesting.com. the answer by midnight tonight, and the winner will be randomly chosen from among the correct answers we receive and announced next week. And here is the third and final trivia question, where the winner is going to get a 3-day, 2-night stay at Lighthouse Resort. What's the name of the reality show that follows individuals who just can't seem to throw anything out? The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What's the name of the reality show that follows individuals who just can't seem to throw anything out? Make sure to include your name, email address, and remember to speak slowly and spell out your information for us one letter at a time, and we'll be right back. Hey listeners, don't forget, World Wraps in Corte Madera and Santa Clara is still giving our listeners a free smoothie with purchase of a wrap or bowl if you mention the Best of Investing. Go there for lunch today. They have the best wraps in town, and don't forget to mention the Best of Investing for your free smoothie. Hey listeners, Edward Brown here. You know I've done commercials for the Lighthouse Resort, but did you know that they have a new sports bar with 10 TVs? Check out their website at www.lighthouse4fun.com or call them at 916-777-5511. They're right on the water, and with summer coming, they offer the most fun around with swimming, boating, mini golf, and a clubhouse. If you didn't win a free vacation for answering the trivia questions on the show, they can still show you how you can win a free vacation. Call 916-777-5511 or go to their website, lighthouse4fun.com.
This is Mark Hanf, co-host of The Best of Investing. Are you tired of the low yields that banks are paying on your savings and CDs? At Pacific Private Money, our clients earn fixed annual rates starting at 8%. If you're looking for a secure way to boost the interest you earn using your savings or IRA, you owe it to yourself to visit our website at pacificprivatemoney.com or call us at 800-605-8050. That's pacificprivatemoney.com or call us at 800-605-8050. You'll be glad you did.
Hey listeners, it's Edward Brown. You've heard me mention about inexpensive life insurance over the past few weeks. The response has been terrific. We just signed a woman up for $1 million policy that is guaranteed for 20 years. Her cost? Less than $1 a day. Since I'm totally independent, I run the numbers through a computer and out pops the top 20 insurance quotes. For a free quote with no obligation, call 888-912-1190 and say life insurance, and I will personally call you back. Why pay more than you need to? That's 888-912-1190 for your free quote. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money and Robert Schiff of RPM Mortgage, and we still have Mark McAlonan still in the studio here. And when we cut to the third final commercial break, we asked this trivia question. What's the name of the reality show that follows individuals who just can't seem to throw anything out?
Piggies.
No. Piggies. Anyone?
Hoarders.
Hoarders. That is correct. Very good. I wasn't sure if you guys would know that one. Yep. Mark, you also said that you've got a lot of interesting data to share with us.
Well, this week, a lot of real estate data was released, and it kind of shows both sides of the spectrum, and you know, the real estate market's still, you know, kind of in a quandary. On the one hand, you've got, you know, August home sales, the numbers were just released in the Bay Area and in California overall, were the highest August in 6 years. So you know, so we're up, the sales volume for the Bay Area is up 14%. In some counties like San Francisco and Marin and Napa, was up over 30% year over year, the sales volume. So, and the median price is up 10%. So, you know, if you listen to the, you know, the associations or ask any realtor, they'll tell you, hey, happy days are here again. You know, real estate's on the rebound. But then, you know, then you look at another article this week that where the numbers came out called Homeowner Blues. And that one talks about how, well, for example, Nevada, nearly 60% of all homes in Nevada are worth less than what's owed on them.
Well, you said they were underwater.
They're underwater.
And I said, wait a minute, how could they be underwater? They're not near the ocean.
Lake Mead.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay.
California is 30%, so still 30%.
30%. Every third house in California is underwater. That's an amazing statistic.
Yep.
So if you're living in a house, you can look to your left and your right, and if they're not underwater, you're in trouble.
In the mirror, right? Exactly.
One of you is. Yeah.
So you've got 30%
Wow.
in California underwater, but yet home sales are the best August in 6 years, and we know that home prices have started to tick up a little bit. So
what do you think? That's a function of geographical locations? Or?
No. Well, here's what's happening. Then the other articles that I was going to share with you is one that says no signs of foreclosure wave. So you've got 30% of homes underwater, and you still have 170,000 homes in California that are in default. They're either and that means either a notice of default has been filed by the bank or a notice of sale has been filed, and there's.
Does that mean the bank is just going to wait until the market gets better?
They're in the foreclosure process.
Right,
and those are the ones that the banks have finally started the foreclosure
right.
process.
So you got 100.
All the other loans probably, I'll bet 10 times that amount that they have non-performing loans.
That haven't
done
done
anything with,
yes.
waiting for the market to get better.
Well, trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Right, and so you've got these, you've got this the shadow inventory as people refer it to, but here a report by foreclosureradar.com, and these guys are about the sharpest website out there for this data, and it says. They continue to see reports that there will be this wave of foreclosure sales after the election or the start of 2013, but the lack of foreclosure starts, because foreclosure starts are down dramatically. I mean, they're a fraction of what they were in years past, and if they're not starting foreclosures now, there's no wave coming. There's not going to be a wave of foreclosures for at least the next 5 to 6 months. So
it's more than that. What I hear is there'd be a wave of modifications from the banks.
That's exactly what
everybody can see, that it's more to the bank's benefit to modify them, with the exception of the banks. They don't seem to get that.
Well, eventually, I think the government's going to kind of.
The government is already. Right. Not forcing, but trying to put a lot of pressure on the banks. Strongly suggesting that it's in everyone's benefit. If you have someone who's living in a house and they're not paying, the bank's getting no money. If they foreclose, it's probably a property that's going to take a long time to rehab and get back on the market.
And I'll bet that these people would keep the principal balance 100% of it if they could just get a lower rate and make payments because they don't want to get forced out of their house. That's primarily
true, and people primarily are paying. They're paying more than rent. They don't want to lose their good credit. The banks have not been negotiating with them, but they're starting to case by case.
And you still have the QE3 with now they're talking about keeping interest rates low till 2015.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering why, if 30% of homes are underwater and there's still 170,000 homes in some process of foreclosure, why home prices are increasing and why we're seeing record sales. And I think what's happening is, if you look at this number, during the foreclosure boom in 2008, in California, banks were foreclosing on about 27,000 properties per month.
Wow.
Right now, that's 5,500. So it's gone from 27,000 to 5,000. And if you just do some quick math and say, well, at 5,000 a month that they're actually foreclosing on, if there's 168,000 homes in some process of foreclosure, you divide that by 5,000, you get nearly 3 years to work through that inventory. So the banks aren't in a hurry to foreclose. It's politically incorrect. They're doing a lot of workouts and modifications. So I don't think if you're a real estate investor and you're holding your breath waiting for the next wave or the second wave or the tsunami of pending foreclosures, you may be waiting a long time. So
it might be just
I think people
stream.
like Mark, that you said that you were able to go in and buy a house and fix it up and sell it and make money. That's the kind of thing that somebody, if they have knowledge of the process, can still do well at.
Yeah, it sounds like you have some time left.
And it doesn't mean that you're making your money because the value of property is escalating, and I don't think people should invest in property assuming just that the value is going to start increasing again. It's going to be a boom market.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like it has bottomed out, and there's some level of stability in the market right now that didn't seem to exist before.
And certainly the rates are their best right now. And so it's like anything, you find a deal, and you compare it to your next door neighbor, and if it's enough room to make some money, and you know that the future buyers are going to get those great rates that are out there now, you got a shot at it.
That's right.
I have a lot of repeat flipper clients, rehabbers that are buying, fixing, and flipping, and they're having trouble finding good bargains right now because a lot of the inventory has been priced up. But the people who are making money in this market right now are the ones who are creative and doing their homework and looking for deals and writing lots of offers.
Well, some of the ones I see that are bank REOs.
Yeah.
They're not that priced that great.
No, they're not. It's the short sales. It's pre-foreclosure. I mean, if you go knocking on doors or making offers on short sale opportunities, that's where the bargains are.
Yeah, or even a guy that's already on the market that they've been living there 40 years.
Yep, that too.
Want to thank Mark
McAlonan.
Yeah, that's a hard one. But okay, we're going to thank him for Kane's Tires being our guest. Thoughts for the day. Who was the first person to look at a cow and say, I think I'll squeeze these dangly things here and drink what comes out of it? Okay, and who was the first person to say, see that chicken over there? I'm going to eat the first thing that comes out of its tushy. Oh, that's nasty. Okay, tune in next week.
I don't think that's where it comes out of.
I don't know. Where did I get these from? Tune in next week to the Best of Investing. Next week's guest is going to be Dan Roberts, who's running for Congress, and we're going to be talking a little bit of fiscal responsibility. And with that, we'll also be giving away 9 more free vacations for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, wishing you the best of investing. So long.